listen to the music, hear the song I'm singing. There's a sermon in my music, and the message should be ringing in your The people filled the theater on the night of the play, and as the curtain time drew near, a man came on stage. I must make an announcement, won't you listen to me? The building is on fire, everybody must leave. Fire, fire, said the people, now what could this mean? This man must be an actor, it's the opening scene. The man on stage looked worried, he said, this is no act. The building is on fire, what I say is a fact. So won't you exit quickly now and leave row by row? You might as well evacuate, there won't be a show. Fire, fire, said the people, this man has appeal. By the way he acts, you want to think the fire is real. Then from the wings a stagehand came, his eyes filled with fear. He shouted to the people, listen, get out of here. Now can't you people understand this isn't an act? So everyone evacuate and flee from the past. Fire, fire, said the people, now why should we go? This actor is a genius, he's stealing the show. Get out, I say, you'll burn from neglect. The critics know that repetition used for effect. Now I can see the stagehand said this is a lost cause, and his words were drowned in cheers and thunderous applause. Fire, fire, said the people, let's make this a flick. Why, with a stagehand or an actor, they have used every trick. Then from underneath the curtain came a bright yellow flame, and the stagehand shouted frantically, you folks are insane. I'm telling you for the last time that there is a real fire. Then he disappeared, and the people cheered, and the flames rose high. Fire, fire, said the people, it seems awful hot. Just stage effects to make you think there's a fire when there's not. Fire, fire, said the people, they started to choke. Although it's fake, it billows great, it's just like real smoke. Fire, fire, said the people, now hear the flames roar. Somebody did a bang-up job and the music was scored. Fire, fire, said the people, now why should we go? These men are only actors, it's the ultimate show. Fire, fire, said the people, now why should we go? These men are only actors, it's the ultimate show. Fire, fire, said the people, now why should we go? These men are only actors, it's the ultimate show. Fire, fire, said the people, now why should we go? These men are only actors, it's the ultimate show. Like the prodigal son, I searched for the good life until I found myself lost and alone. My money was gone, my friends all had left me. I knew it was time to go home. I can feel it now, that home again heartbeat, as I stumble along. I can hardly wait to see my father at the gate and hear him say, "Son, welcome home." For the love of God is great for His children, and He still loves us whenever we stray. His arms are outstretched to welcome us homeward. He's only a heartbeat away. I can feel it now, that home again heartbeat, as I stumble along. I can hardly wait to see my father at the gate and hear him say, "Son, welcome home." The old Quaker farmer with his kerosene lamp came at evening to the Union camp. He asked the blue-coat soldiers, asked them every one, "Tell me, have you seen my son John?" John Hartman, thy father calls thee, O son, won't you come home, come home. Then said the Union captain, sir, it's been a long fight. We're all that's left of the regiment that fought here last night. Perhaps out on that battlefield they call Bull Run, you'll find a wounded soldier that is your boy John. John Hartman, thy father calls thee, O son, won't you come home, come home. So out across that battlefield he walked through the night, among the dead and dying with his flickering light. Through his tears he called to his soldier's son, now won't you come home, John Hartman? John Hartman, thy father calls thee, O son, won't you come home, come home. Then just as the dawnlight tinged the eastern sky, across those misty fields he heard a feeble cry, and the old Quaker farmer broke into a run, for he knew it was the voice of his boy John. John Hartman, thy father calls thee, O son, won't you come home, come home. And with tears of joy streaming down his face, he bound up his wounds and thanked God for his grace. And with arms around each other, they headed for home. And out across those fields you could hear their song. Coming home, coming Oh, let me tell you a story, a tale from days of yore, that happened on the maiden voyage of a ship called the Northstar. That mighty ship left her slip October 23, and with full steam that sailor's dream head for open sea. It's midnight on the restless sea, the captain stands alone. He hears the people's laughter and the engine's steady groan, and he wonders if the icebergs will be riding on the waves, trying to find a steely hull to send to an ocean grave. And all throughout that foggy night the watchman's eyes were keen, but not a single iceberg upon the sea was seen. And the sailor's eyes grew weary as the night wore on, and he fell asleep out on the deep just before the dawn. Then there rose a mighty iceberg upon the sunless sea, and it drifted in the Northstar's course as fate would have it be. And with her screws churning hard she rammed the ice full bore, and shuddered in the pre-dawn day as her metal twisted and tore. Oh no, she moans, I'm sinking, the sea is rushing in. The bulkhead must be battened or I'll never sail again. And the passengers were screaming and the crewmen's faces pale, for they knew they'd never live to tell this dreadful tale. The people ran in panic, heading fore and aft, and sailors scrambled from the hold as water blocked their path. And the swelling seas too choppy now to lure the boats away, and now the ship began to list that dark and fateful day. And then the captain called his crew and he lined them up astern, and he told them that they all were doomed if something wasn't done. And he asked if any a volunteer would give his life to save that noble ship, the Northstar, from a watery grave. Then from the ranks there stepped a sailor, young and brave and true, and he said, "Sir, give me the task that you would have me do. Give me the word, my captain, and I'll go straight away and save this noble vessel to sail another day." The captain was as still as stone, his eyes were filled with grief. He stood in anguished silence, transfixed in unbelief. Then he threw his arms around the boy whose time had come at last, and he hoarsely whispered the command to make the bulkhead fast. The young brave sailor went below and did as he was told. Down he went and through a vent swam into the hold. He battened out the surging tide, secured the bulkhead down. Himself a prisoner held within, the young brave sailor drowned. The next day the sun shone bright on the shimmering sea, as if to erase every trace from the memory of brave men and icebergs, all that happened before. The Northstar put that in her wake and head for nearest shore. And then the captain called his crew and all on board to the stern for a service of thanksgiving to the Lord. No greater deed, the captain said, has any sailor done. For you see, that boy that gave his life was my only son. Now many years have passed since this story first was told, and to this day the Northstar bears scars upon her hold that tell of a captain's son who lived in days of yore, who saved that noble vessel, the mighty ship Northstar. When first she headed for open sea, the mighty ship Northstar. Jars on the shelf, formed of the same crude potter's hand, and he molded each as though he planned to make them one and the same, and set the price thus to be paid as one for both, so similar were they made. The potter took the 2 clay jars and set them both aside, and as the weeks turned into months, he glanced at them with pride, and he thought perhaps to take them home and put them on his shelf, until a passer-by enquired to buy one for himself. He chose to take just 1 clay jar. He could use only 1, and he left the other earthen jar on the shelf alone. And when the man was far away, without a word thus spoken, the potter turned to the shelf to find the other jar was broken. All the world's a parade, people marching to the sound of the drummers drumming, and they blindly follow after him, never knowing where he's leading them. But I hear a different drummers, distant drumming, and my feet have caught the beat, the rhythm sounding loud and clear, and I'm following what I hear, what I hear. Listen, everyone, hear the drummer wake from slumber now, and hear his drumming. Lift your weary eyes and see the Savior, for he's telling you that he's coming. my